You might not have noticed it, but Andre Onana has been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season, and the stats prove it. He's had more clean sheets than any other keeper in the league, and he has prevented more goals than any other keeper. A lot of people are still doubting Andre Onana from some of those mistakes he made early in his United career, almost 18 months ago now. If you're still doubting him, let me prove why you're wrong. Ruben Amorim's first match as Man United manager was a little bit disappointing, that 1-1 draw against Ipswich, but it could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Andre Onana. 2 phenomenal saves, both from Liam Delap, saving a combined 0.67 XG in the game. And the thing with Onana is, I think this alerted a lot of people to just how good he has been this season. He also completed all 37 of the short passes that he attempted in the game as well. And you almost forget that that's what he's known for. That's what he's so good at. Those short passes, allowing United to play out from the back in a way that we haven't been able to do until he arrived. He's almost standing out for these phenomenal saves because he keeps doing them, and his save percentage is one of the best in the league. But realistically, he's a ball-playing goalkeeper, and he's phenomenal at it. Speaking on Sky after the game, Jamie Redknapp spoke about that save, and he said, "That's the save of the season. That is an unbelievable save. Yes, he should score, but it's a wonderful save. He gets his big right paw out, and he's managed to keep it out. It's unbelievable." Delap thinks he scored, but Onana is so strong. What a save. Unbelievable. But he should score, and he should score. That's what great saves are. Doing things that you shouldn't be able to do. Delap should have scored there, and the fact that he didn't is what has led, Onana to all of this adulation. Amorim spoke about him after the game as well, and he said that we could win this game, but also Onana did some great saves. He also said a goalkeeper is so important in one team. When we needed, Onana was there. He said with the ball he was very good, but he didn't use all the time the long balls. He tried to connect, so it was a great game for Andre. Onana himself spoke after the game as well. He said, "But it was not enough to win the game. We have to continue working hard. I will take responsibility. There's no time to cry. We have to move on. Good games will come. We know that. Better days will come. Like I always say, it will never rain forever here. The sun will shine." And the thing is, he's delivering on his promises. He's growing in confidence game by game. When he went through that tough spell last season, he stuck to his principles and said, "I will take responsibility." He's literally got, I think Gary Neville said this, arguably the most scrutinised job in world football as a player, which is goalkeeper for Manchester United. If you make any mistakes in that area, you are jumped on like nobody else. And to do that, and to go through the mistakes that he did have last season, you have to have a very, very strong mentality. So let's look at some of his numbers last season to this season and see just how much he's improved. If you look at the goals conceded per game, it's down from 1.52 to 1.08 this season. Now, some of that isn't just him, obviously. The opposition's taking loads of good shots from good areas. That's not down to Onana. That's down to the defending of Man United as a team. But it clearly shows we have improved defensively. Now, this one is on him. Last season, throughout the whole of the season, he prevented 2.8 goals. This season already, he has prevented 4.4 goals. He has conceded 4.5 goals fewer than he should have done, which is obviously absolutely fantastic. In terms of clean sheets, again, all of last season he had 9. Now, just a quarter of the season in, or just past a quarter of the season in, he's got 5 already, which is the most in the league. And astonishingly, this season so far, he has made 0 errors leading to goals. And that was the big thing that we saw last season. In the Champions League especially, there was a handful of errors that basically cost us our participation in the Champions League. This year, there's been none. 0 errors leading to goals from Andre Onana. Now, one thing that definitely didn't help, and I mentioned it before with the goals conceded per match, is just the number of shots that we conceded last season, the sheer volume of shots. Gary Neville spoke about this on the overlap, and he brought up that it's not just Onana's fault. He said United keeper faced over 600 shots last season. That's 20 shots per game and has the best save ratio. Onana responded saying that everything is temporary. Last year, they didn't face that many shots, and I'm sure that next season, which is the one we're in now, we will not face that many. He also spoke to Adam McCullough on this channel during pre-season talking about his targets and aims for this season. That's the thing with him. When things aren't going great, when our backs are against the wall, he'll come out in a press conference. He'll come out and speak and reassure people and tell people exactly what is going through his head.
What are your targets for this season? Your second season at the club, your second season in Manchester. You feeling settled, and you got any personal targets for yourself?
Wow, to win everything. It's a big revenge for me this season, so it's going to be exciting.
Is that what you feel? You've got a point to prove. You got a bit of, revenge to get.
Not to prove, because I know I know who I am. If I have to prove anyone who I am, it's to myself, because I know where I come from. Coming at Manchester United as the best goalie in the world, it was not the season I want, But this season I feel home, so let's see how it's going to be.
So he's someone that's willing to stand up and take responsibility for his actions. He's someone that's very confident and allows that confidence to rebuild his reputation after what was a pretty poor start to last season. He's also just a pretty good guy. We've seen this week that he's won the FIFA Pro Player Impact Award for humanitarian work in Cameroon, which again is providing over 500 people a year with free medical care. That doesn't help Manchester United necessarily, but it's a great thing to be doing, and it just shows the character of the man that we're talking about. I think when you are in the position that he's in at Manchester United, when you've been surrounded by performances that aren't good enough, the manager's been sacked this season, we finished 8th last season, having that sort of character, being a good person, being an intelligent person, is going to help you get back to your best form, and we're seeing that from him. He's also very coachable. We saw before the Ipswich game, there was a clip released of him practicing the exact saving technique that led to the 2 saves versus Liam Delap. You can see it there. He's literally doing the exact movement that saved those 2 massive chances for Ipswich. He's someone that is learning from those new coaches that have come in already. And I think if you're looking at this and you're saying, he's improved a bit from last season, maybe he's sort of proven you wrong a little bit, but you're still looking at other goalkeepers and thinking, well, they're better. Let's compare him to some other goalkeepers, shall we? So let's look at 3 facets of the game compared to other top goalkeepers. Now, we've left Alisson out of this because he's only played half the games available because of injury. So this is him compared to the Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, City and Aston Villa goalkeepers. First of all, let's look at clean sheets. United have had more clean sheets, and Onana has had more clean sheets than any other keeper in the league this season, which is phenomenal, especially when you consider how many shots and attempts and chances we were conceding last season. You can see him there at the top of that list. And the likes of Ederson and Sanchez, despite the fact that I think City are still second in the league, have had less than half the number of clean sheets that Onana has. Now, if you look at another stat here, that's you can maybe say, well, that's the team, and how many shots you concede is going to roughly link up with how many clean sheets you have. Well, let's look at the goals prevented, because he is by far and away the best goals prevented of any keeper this season. Basically, what that means is they should have scored 4.5 goals more than they did if it weren't for Andre Onana. That is what you would expect to have conceded based on the types of chances that the opposition have had against us this season. He is massively outperforming the rest of the people on that list. If you compare him to some of the other names on that list, you look at Raya and Sanchez. Sanchez has got a very good save percentage. It's actually higher than Onana's, but you can see there that he's only saved the shots that the data would predict that he'd save. Onana has gone above and beyond, and is literally winning points for Manchester United. If you compare that to the Premier League table quickly, you can see that Man United there, down in 13th, have only scored 13 goals. So Onana has prevented over a third of the goals that we've scored. Like, the impact that he's having. Imagine if we'd have conceded another 4 goals on top of that. We'd have a minus goal difference. We'd probably be in the, fighting relegation at the moment. The number of points that he has saved us with those 4.5 goals prevented. And of course, he's a modern ball-playing goalkeeper. Let's look at the numbers in terms of passes this season. He has attempted more passes than any other keeper on this list. Ederson, Manchester City, obviously they're having a tough time, but they are the gold standard of playing out from the back. Onana's made 90 passes more than him this season. He's made more passes than any of these other teams that are fighting for those top 4 places. He's brilliant with the ball at his feet. And again, like I said before, it's almost going under the radar now because people are so focused on his shot stopping and the mistakes that he made in that area earlier on in his career. we're forgetting the fact that he's been consistently phenomenal with the ball at his feet and continues to do so. I personally think you could argue that Andre Onana has been one of United's most important players this season and will continue to be the most important player. Ruben Amorim likes his teams to keep the ball around their own 18-yard box in order to draw the opposition onto him and quickly play through the lines, just like that goal we saw against Ipswich. To do that, you have to have a keeper that is fantastic at playing the ball out under high pressure, and we've seen the stats prove Onana is one of the best in the game at doing that. Have I convinced you that Andre Onana has been the best keeper in the Premier League so far? If not, why not? Get your thoughts in the comments. One thing is for certain though, if he keeps playing the way he is now, being reliable with his hands and with his feet, he's going to be the perfect goalkeeper for Ruben Amorim.